Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to day 5 of Millionaire Mindset Mornings, where every morning at 8 a.m. I am dropping some business tips and strategies for you to help you elevate your business. Okay. This week we have been focusing on mindset and how we are trying to reset our mindset because you cannot chase coins, you cannot chase the bag if you do not have a strong and steady foundation. Okay. So that's what we've been talking about all week. Now, on yesterday, we talked about how to crush doubt by exercising discipline. And today we're going to be talking about how to protect our peace while you're building, okay? Because yes, we're going to be exercising discipline, but we don't want that discipline to lead to burnout. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But really quick, let me do my quick social media checks just to make sure I am good on all ends. If for some reason you cannot hear me, please let me know in the chat. But it looks like I am good. So we're going to go ahead and get started on today. If you have ever felt burnout, or if you've ever been in a season of burnout, or like your hustle was actually hustling you, then hopefully you're going to be able to relate to what I'm talking about today, as well as be able to incorporate some of these tips and strategies that I am about to share. And if you're tired of getting burnt out and getting overwhelmed with your side hustle, then this is definitely for you. Excuse me. As always, please like and subscribe the video and give me a shout out. Let me know where you're tuning in from. All right. We're going to make this quick so I can get off to work. So the first thing we're going to do to help protect our peace while we're building our side hustles and building our business is we are going to know our limits before life forces them. Okay. That's right. We're going to know our limits before life forces them. I'm going to put it in the chat. So this is just the first point. Usually I will have 3 points that I'm going to share with you. So know your limits before life forces them. Because that's usually when we sit down. It's like we've been forced to sit down, not because we've chosen to sit down. So we're going to try and recognize that before it happens. Because here's the thing, burnout does not happen overnight. Burnout is something that kind of creeps up on us, all right? It's not something that happens immediately. Although oftentimes it feels like that because all of a sudden now we're just overwhelmed and we're like, okay, I need a break. But burnout is not something that happens overnight. It's something that is gradually creeping up on us. And you have to be aware of the things that are draining you and burning you out so that you can go ahead and make adjustments before you just kind of completely, I won't say give up, but completely like crash out and everything. So it's just like a phone battery. All right. Throughout the day, it's slowly draining. It's slowly losing it's energy. And that's the same thing with us when it comes to our business. All right. And when it comes to burnout is something that just kind of creeps up on us, but we need to be able to recognize the signs of it before it leads to something detrimental for ourselves, meaning for our health, as well as something detrimental for our business. All right. Here's what I want you to recognize. Rest is not a reward. It is a requirement. All right. I'm going to say that again. Rest is not a reward. It is a requirement. Because oftentimes, here's what we do as entrepreneurs and business owners. Be like, oh, I'm going to take a break once I get X, Y, and Z done. Oh, I'm going to rest once I get X, Y, and Z done. No, you need to go ahead and factor rest into your schedule, into the equation. It is not a reward. It is a requirement. So it's not something you reward yourself with because you've hit this goal or whatever. Maybe you can celebrate by, taking a trip or giving yourself some time off or whatever, but regular rest should be scheduled in there. Okay. So it is not a reward. It is a requirement. And I often use athletes as examples because their work ethic is a testament to how we should be working. But even with athletes, high level performance athletes, they have rest days scheduled in. Okay. They're not working out every day of the week. They have rest periods, already part of their routine, already part of their workout schedule. And as business owners, entrepreneurs, and side hustles, we have to be able to do the same, okay? Because if not, when you ignore your limits, that's actually going to cost you more than the time you probably would have taken to rest. All right. So don't ignore your limits. All right. It's going to cost you more in the long run. And I'm also going to put in the chat that rest is not a reward, it is a requirement. So if you have ever been forced to take a break because you were doing too much, I want y'all to stop that. But I see you in the chat. Okay. I see you. I have been in the same position where I've just been forced to rest because I did not have it factored in. So I want y'all to remember, rest is not a reward. It is a requirement. And then we're going to go on to point number 2. But let me just put this up here and put it on the screen for y'all. And I hope everything has been helpful for you this week. We are on day 5, and I'll still be coming to you over the weekend as well. All right, the second point I want to make is you need to guard your mind like you guard your money. If you don't want nobody playing about your money, playing about your money and your food. I know for me, don't play with my money and don't play with my food. But guard your mind like you guard your money. So if you don't want nobody playing about your money, then you got to have that same energy when it comes to your mind. So guard your mind like you guard your money, because your mental space and your mental peace is one of your most valuable assets. All right. I'm going to say that again. Your mental space and your mental peace is one of your most valuable assets. So you need to guard your mind like you guard your money. That is point number 2. And I'm putting that in. Guard your mind like you guard your money. So you don't want nobody playing with your money, but at the same time, you don't need anybody playing with your mind. All right. And you have to protect your space and protect your mental peace from people who are from negative people. All right. From people who are trying to drain you, from people who are trying to just get you off your focus. Okay. So protect your mind and protect your mental space and your mental peace from people who might drain you. And in order to do that, here's what you might have to do. You might have to say no more often in order to protect your yes. All right. Sometimes we're a little bit too eager to say yes to certain things. And instead, we really should pause, take a step back, consider how it's going to affect me, consider how it's going to affect my mental energy, my mental peace, and maybe say, no, I'm going to sit this one out, or no, I'm not going to be able to help you in that regard. Okay. So you don't need to take on every unnecessary project, every unnecessary client, just to say, especially sometimes as entrepreneurs and business owners, we try to appease certain clients and customers, and they're not even our ideal client or customer. And because we're going all out of our way to appease this particular person, then it leads to mental burnout. It leads to strain. You know, you're tired. You're not even happy doing the project or whatever it is. But ideally, that person was not really your ideal client or your customer or what was actually in your wheelhouse. You were just grasping at stuff because you wanted to have sales in your business, or you wanted to have customers and you wanted to have clients, and you figured one customer, even though it's not the perfect customer or my ideal customer, is better than no customers. And that's not always the case when it ends up draining you. And sometimes too, we'll make partnerships, so business partnerships with people who are not aligned with the direction we need to go, just because we're like, I need to show that I'm doing something in my business, or I need to be connected to somebody in my business, or you think this person is going to be able to help your business, but they're not in the right alignment for you. And because of that, it ends up costing you more and costing you your peace and costing you your mental health. So say no more often to protect your yes, because sometimes when you're saying yes to everything, when the right opportunity does come around, you don't even have the capacity to take it on, because you've already said yes to these frivolous, I won't I won't even call them frivolous, but these things that really were not in alignment. So then when the perfect opportunity or the perfect situation or the perfect client or the perfect customer or the perfect project comes along, you can't even say yes to it because you've cluttered up your time, you've cluttered up your mental energy, you cluttered up your physical energy working on something that's not even really in alignment with what you wanted or what you saw for your business. So say no more often because that will help to protect your yes. All right. And the other thing I want to say is you need to limit your intake. What do I mean by that? Everything doesn't deserve your attention. All right. I'm going to say that again. Everything doesn't deserve your attention. Sometimes we take on things that are not even supposed to be our focus, or we're watching things, we're consuming things, we're binging stuff on social media, negative things that are having negative influences on us. And because you think, oh, I'm just watching it, these people are arguing, fussing, fighting, whatever it is, carrying on, being messy, gossiping and stuff like that, you think it doesn't affect you. It does. It affects your mental health. All right. So limit your intake of things. Everything doesn't deserve your attention. If it's not building you, if it's not growing you, then you might want to pass on it. Okay. Because oftentimes you've watch stuff or consume stuff, and instead of you working on your business, your mind is still focused on that drama that these other people had, or the situation that these other people had, or you're talking and chit-chatting and gossiping about stuff that you saw instead of working on your business, or your mind can't even focus to work it on your business because you've been distracted by something else. So limit your intake. Everything doesn't deserve your attention. All right. So it's time for you to guard your peace. All right. And the last and final point that I want to make when it comes to protecting your peace while you build your business is that I want you to build your business with joy and not just grinding. All right. So build your business with joy and not just grinding. Now, that's not to say, as new entrepreneurs, side hustlers, and things like that, things are going to be easy. But find the joy in what you're doing. Okay. Build it with joy and not grind, because you want to make sure that you're enjoying what you're doing. If not, why are you even doing it? All right. There's going to be seasons where you are going to have to hustle, but still try to find the joy in it. So let me put that point number 3 in, and then I'm going to share just a few more things, and then we're going to wrap it up. Build your business with joy and not just grind. I want y'all to remember that. The reason why, excuse me, the reason why is because peace fuels creativity. When you're stressed out, that stifles it. All right. So you want to build in a peaceful, calm, soothing situation, not stressful and anxiety ridden. Okay. And if you think about it, you know how you have some of your best ideas like in the shower? You wonder why that is? Because you're at peace. Nothing can distract you. Typically, nothing can distract you in the shower. Like you can't really, now you can listen to some music and stuff like that. And hopefully you're listening to the right kind of music, but you can't really, watch TV and be bothered. You can't really talk on the phone, although, Bluetooth headsets and stuff have made it where you can do some of those things. But usually your best ideas, they come in the shower because all the distractions have been eliminated. It's peaceful. It's calm. Okay. It's not chaotic. So your peace fuels your creativity. So it's better to make sure you're in a relaxing environment so your mind can be stimulated, so your mind can be creative and come up with new and exciting ideas for your business. Now, another way you can build with joy is make sure that you celebrate the small wins to help you keep momentum. All right. Clap for yourself, even if it's a small win. Don't discount it. Don't skip over it. And I'm guilty of this, but clap for your small wins. All right. Those small wins over time will help build your momentum. So if you made a $10 sale, celebrate that, because that's going to keep pushing you so you can get your $1,000 sale, so you can get your $10,000 sale. Clap for those small wins. Okay. And here's the last thing that I'm going to share when it comes to building with joy. So try to bring joy into the process, not just the outcome. All right, I'm going to say that again to make sure y'all hear it. Bring joy into the process, not just the outcome. And I'm actually going to put that in the chat, and I'm going to explain that a little bit more. Bring joy into the process, not just the outcome. Now, what I mean by that is sometimes we wait to celebrate once we've reached the outcome that we've desired, once we've achieved that goal or reached that particular milestone that we have desired, okay, or that we've set for ourselves. But bring joy into the process. It's like the journey. It's like the saying, there's joy in the journey. So put joy in the journey, not just in the outcome, because the outcome might not come for months, okay? The outcome might not come for weeks. It might take a year or two before you reach the outcome that you want to see in your business or your side hustle. So you need to bring joy in the entire process, not just in the outcome, okay? That goes back to like celebrating those small wins. When you hit certain milestones, celebrate it. Find the joy in that. And not be like, well, I still got, I hit $100, but I still got $900 more to go. No, find the joy and you reaching that $100. Okay. So that's what it means when it says bring joy into the process, not just the outcome. Okay. So with that being said, I want you to think about what's one small win that you've had in your business this week, or what's one small win you've had in general this week. Celebrate that small win. Okay. All right. So those were the 3 points I had when it comes to protecting your peace while you build your business, because I want you to remember, protecting your peace, it is not selfish. It is survival. All right. If you don't protect your peace, it can literally take you out. So it's not selfish. It's survival. Because that grind is only going to be temporary, but your health, your joy, your peace, those things are priceless. All right. And you want to make sure you're prioritizing those things. All right. So as always, I usually have an action step that I want you to take. So today I challenge you to do one thing, just one thing, to protect your peace. And that could be saying no to something. That could be logging off early, getting off that social media, stop scrolling. So logging off early, or celebrating a win that you've achieved. Whatever your small win is, or one thing that you're going to do to protect your peace, let me know in the chat. Even if you're catching the replay, even if you're watching this later, then let me know what's one thing you're going to do to protect your peace. And I'm going to put that in the chat. So I challenge you to do one thing to protect your peace in your business, in your home, in your family, however that might be, okay? Because a millionaire mindset isn't just about money. It's about peace, joy, and freedom. And we talked about that back in May when I did our money affirmations and everything. So if you want to have a millionaire mindset, it's not just about the money. It's about your mental health. It's about your peace. It's about you having joy. Okay. All right. So I know that was a lot. Once again, I went over time, but make sure you tune in tomorrow at 8 a.m. Tomorrow, we got another good topic, okay? All about our mindset reset. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the comparison trap. Have you got caught up in the comparison trap? Comparing yourself to someone else. So we're going to talk about that and how to run your race without looking sideways. All right. That is going to be the topic for tomorrow. I know tomorrow is Saturday, but I'm still going to be up bright and early at 8 a.m. To see y'all. So let me know if you enjoyed this. Also, if you're ready to protect your peace and your business, drop a rocket ship in the chat. Remember to like and subscribe. And also, I'm going to hype up my Tipsy Tuesday video because like I told y'all before and yesterday, I was dropping some gems. So if you have not checked out the Tipsy Tuesday video from this past Tuesday, go ahead, check it out. It has a lot of information there, okay? All right. So, Oh, what's up, Stephanie? I see she joined. She said one thing she's going to do to protect her peace is to have more sleep. I hear that. I feel that that is going to be part of my goal this weekend as well. I'm supposed to be getting more rest and everything. So I stand with you in that because I can totally relate. All right. And then Stephanie also put a rocket ship in the chat because she is ready to protect her peace. And I hope y'all are as well. All right. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And I will see y'all on tomorrow at 8 a.m. Take care, guys.